songs off late from a long day's call, solving problems, juggling it all. When the day is done and the sun goes down, she trades the job for the open ground. There's hay to haul and stalls to clean, a muddy path where her soul feels seen. It's not just chores, it's something more. It's the dream she's always been working for. From suits to boots, from desk to dirt, she's proven what a dream is worth. You don't need fame, you don't need praise, just a will to give and a heart that stays. She's got spreadsheets open by morning light, with horses waiting come early night. She's not chasing gold or spotlight gleam, she's just living out her kind of dream. Long days, sore hands, and early starts, but the work she does with heart. 'Cause when you earn it with your time and sweat, you never live with one regret. So don't you wait for the perfect day. Find your fire and lead the way. You can thrive in both your worlds, wearing strength like a strand of pearls. From suits to boots, from desk to dirt, she's showing what her life is worth. Follow your heart and don't let go. You've got more fire than you know. Work hard, stay true, and see it through. Your double life might be the real you.
Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. I find myself getting really lost in that intro song and like reminiscing back to so many of those moments, and of course missing the babies that are no longer here, and just, I don't know, when you reminisce and you think about those times, like some of those were much simpler times, and some of those were really hard times, but you didn't know that there could be harder in those moments. So you kind of like, I don't know, when you watch these things that you already lived, you're like, yeah, that was really hard, and right after this happened, or all of those things. I don't know, I get emotional and wrapped up, and here we are on Timeout Tuesday, just sitting back like friends and sharing it all. In speaking of sharing it all, I have a confession, and it's super embarrassing. Okay, like I have debated on, should I tell you this or not tell you this? Because, okay, let's pour a drink, and then I'm going to talk about what happened, because it's a doozy. Tonight's drink, I actually stopped on the way home, is a lemonade wine cocktail. Why? I like certain wines, and I like really cold Chardonnay. I like Malbec red wine, or a really good Cab, but I like red wine in the wintertime. So when I walked by this, I was like, lemonade sounds so good. Over ice sounds like very refreshing, and so that's what I'm kind of hoping comes from this little. It came as a 4-pack. I only brought one in. I put the rest out in the fridge for, later days. We're going in the boot. Ooh, she smells a little strong. We might need to go get a Sprite to water her down. Oh. It fit in the boot perfectly. You know that's a sign, right? It's a sign. Cheers, y'all, to Timeout Tuesday. Oh, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good, actually. I've never seen this before, but it's made with real lemons. That's got to be something, right? Practically fruit salad. All right. I hope that Lester isn't watching because this is also going to embarrass him a little bit. It started about midweek last week. I walked into our bedroom and I was like, oh, what is that smell? And I'm like, it was wafty and it was like musty. And I'm like, did one of the dogs roll in something dead? Like, what is it? And I'm like sniffing. And I get to this is where it's embarrassing for Lester. So let's nobody go tell him that I talked about this, okay? I'm like, where are your shoes that you just took off? He's like, they're in the kitchen. Why? I'm like, I just smell them. And I'm like smelling and I smell his feet. And I'm like, oh, that's it. But it was kind of it. And I'm like, oh, you got to wear socks with your shoes. He's like, I'm so sorry. Like full disclosure, Lester is not a smelly man. Okay. He never has BO. I don't know. It's remarkable. He never has bad breath. He never brushes his teeth, whatever. And I'm like, it's definitely your feet. But the more and more I thought about it, I'm like, as I got closer, I didn't smell it stronger. I just smelled it. I sprayed some bleach on the floors and wiped up where I thought that he walked and made him go scrub his feet. And I just went back outside and got over it. Well, then the next day when he wasn't here, I was like, he left those shoes here. Where are they? And I'm like tossing them in the washing machine because I can still smell it. Next day, I'm like, he must have got it on the bedclothes. So I stripped the bed and I washed that. Still smell it. And every day, I'm progressively like trying to find the smell. Well, I got home about 45 minutes ago because I had to go run some errands, and Lester already did the chores for me, which was super extra sweet. And I come in the bedroom and it's smelling worse than ever. Ever. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. Like, it smells like when your dogs go rolling something dead. And it's just like, it's distinct. I'm now pulling out everything I can find under the bed that has made its way under there. You know, the sock that got lost or the pillowcase we dropped, all the things. Taking a broom and I'm pulling everything out. And I still cannot figure out where this smell is coming from. I'm at this point in time looking completely psycho, okay? I am crawling on the floor and smelling it. I have my nose to the ground to try to figure out what this smell is. It's not in the bedroom. I make my way to the closet and it's getting stronger and I'm like I'm gagging. It's horrible. And I'm like, he has hidden his wet shoes somewhere. Like, I'm getting boiling mad that he Okay, plot twist. Oh boy. The whole computer died. Not like the battery died. Like shut down to the black screen of death and it says your computer has encountered a problem. So anyway, here we are. Okay. Are we good now? Are we back? I can't tell. Also, I have the most jacked up situation happening right now. Hold on. Hold on. Let me pull my life together because I'm mid-story and it's a funny story and it's a good story. And I can't see what is going on. No, 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 no. I'm going to flip you. That's what I'm going to do. Wow. Okay. I don't really know what is going on right now, but my whole computer died. Sorry about that. Thank God that I went on StreamYard and pulled us back together. I'm going to back up because I still feel like something's wrong here. It should be like this. Okay. That was wild. Anyway, maybe that's God telling me, like, you probably should just stop talking about that event. Maybe. At this point in time, I'm crawling on the floor, sniffing everything. I'm sniffing the baseboards because I'm like, well, maybe it's from the flooding. I'm sniffing the floor. I'm sniffing like boxes, all the things. And then I crawl into the closet and I'm like, it's getting more putrid. And I'm getting more and more mad thinking that Lester like hid his shoes from me, thinking that I wouldn't wash them or something along those lines. Like I'm starting to blame him out loud. And then I was like, maybe it's a dead mouse because, you know, that's potential. We live out in the middle of nowhere. Maybe that's it. Nope. Nope. So y'all remember that we flooded like 2 weeks ago and that I pulled everything out of the closet. I cleaned it all up. I dried it all out. I've been running a dehumidifier. Well, it turns out that my very own old boots. Can y'all hear me? Because somebody just says I'm gone again. I'm here. Okay, good. My very own pair of boots that I guess that I kept for whatever reason. Maybe I brought them back from the jail one time. All the things were lodged behind the safe. And not only were they lodged behind the safe, they were growing a science experiment. And the smell, it was my own boots. My own boots that got some sort of like growy, nasty, musky smell. And I've been blaming Lester for a week. I have been scrubbing my own feet thinking that it's me and I can only smell myself. Personally, I've switched deodorant twice. I have bleached the grout with a toothbrush in the closet and in the bathroom thinking that there's some sort of oil seepage that is like in the grout. You know how grout is. I rewashed every towel we owned. I washed the bedclothes. I washed any laundry that touched anything that wasn't hanging. It was me and my boots. And that, friends, is embarrassing. How do I come back from that? It makes me like, I owe Lester a giant apology. Poor guy's been like looking for socks every single day to make sure that he doesn't come home with smelly feet because he knows that I'll go nuts with the hyper smell looking for it, blaming him. I've blamed our dogs. I've rubbed fabric softener and sprayed perfume and cologne on the dogs because I couldn't get the smell out of my nostrils. And it was me and my old janky, ratchety boots. Yeah. I have no words. No words. I can't see anything that y'all are saying. I'm going to try to do something really quick here, and I won't, if I lose you, it'll be right back, I promise. Let's see here. Okay, that feels better. Now I can see a few things here and there. There's just like new buttons on this. I'm on my phone because I had to switch from the computer that literally blew up in front of me. So that's great. I did throw out those boots. Those are gone. In addition to some other things that I found behind the safe that were not growing things, but I didn't know there was that much of a gap. There's like a 8-inch gap behind the safe. I had no idea that there was that much room for activity back there. But now that we know, we'll always just make sure that we look for that as well. Yeah. No money, Gina. Sorry. I really wish that that would have been the case. That was not it. Just smelly boots that belong to me, apparently. The thing is they were like my old boots. And how they got in the closet, I still don't know. Unless, like, Lester did a really sweet thing and had somebody clean the house once. Did they put my boots in the closet? Because I don't typically bring my boots beyond the bathroom. Ever. I don't. Anyway, that's the embarrassing story of the week. But we can check off the box of smelly things found, and all things are clean. Unfortunately, we are, because of those floods, the boards in our bath or in our bedroom are starting to blister, and we are going to have to start a project and replace all the flooring in there. But until we are sure that we have solved the flooding problem, I'm not in a hurry to replace anything. So that will be a project for later, not today. And I think that we'll just do like vinyl planks next time instead of the wood that's in there. So yeah, those boots are not able to be recovered at this point in time, and I haven't worn them in years. And I have other boots. They're the ones that had my sole was actually cracked in those boots, which brings a whole nother thing. Like, why did I keep those? I really thought I used those as a planter outside, and then I started to like second guess of like, well, where did those go? I don't know. I try really hard to preserve my boots as long as possible, because once they get to a point of comfort, that's when they start breaking down. Because I don't buy the most expensive ones. I buy ones that I can get at Tractor Supply, and I think that they last about a year. I'm pretty hard on them. I wear them every single day, which is really a flip, because at one point in my life, I wore high heels every single day. And I would own like a pair of flip-flops and a pair of tennis shoes and like 10 to 20 pairs of heels. And I wore heels until they wore out. And sometimes if I found a pair that I really loved, I would just buy the same pair over and over and over. And now I own a pair of heels. What a life flip. Total life flip. Yes. Hi, my name is Jamie, and I had smelly boots in the back of my closet that caused me to blame everyone in our house for the most putrid smell ever. And it was me. My mom sent me a package. I thought maybe we would open it together. Look, Mom. Some of y'all been purchasing some of her stuff on Etsy, and she told me she was going to do something really special, and she's doing it, and it's really cute. And some of y'all are messaging me about it. The extra thing in your purchase. This is my birthday gift, by the way, even though it's early for my birthday. Oh boy. Ah, I got one too. I got an extra. Okay, hold on. Y'all are going to get to see. She sends animals along. Let me have you with all of her creations. She sent me Sam. And she names them all. And somebody messaged me the other day. It's not just chickens. Somebody messaged me the other day and they got Prim. And someone else messaged me the other day and said that they got Terrence. And I was like, that is such a cute idea. Put them up on my little miniature shelf and collect them all, you know? I don't want to cry. I'm not going to read that, but I am going to show you what she made. Let's see here. All right. It's a big old quilt. Oh, and it's beautiful. Y'all, look. How neat and how pretty is this? And then, pretty backside. Oh, it has farm print on it with a windmill and everything. A feed sack. Thanks, Mama. All these individual little squares right here. And wait, and wait. Hold on, we have a blank pillow. Ah, a scrunchie to match. And pillowcases. How cute is that? Okay, hold on. We're going for the animal print one. I love it. How cute. Now, what Lester needs to know is this is not a shoulder pillow that leaves the bed. It can stay in bed as the shoulder pillow, but it's not a car pillow, Lester. Totally adorable. Thank you, Mom. I love it. I love it so much. Okay. My mom's been a quilting machine. She sent me the other night this it was actually a quilting machine it's called a long arm quilt, which I had never heard of, and it like takes up this whole room and is computerized, so like you still have to piece it all and put it together, but to quilt it, to make it stay to the back and all those things, like a machine can do that or a human can do that. She's been doing it by hand, but they make these machines that are like as big as your room, and you just program how big the quilt is and the design, and it like does it for you. And I like, first of all, I had no idea, because all I've ever seen is hand quilting and her like going into the room and like not surfacing for a long time and binge watching shows and piecing all that stuff together. And I had never knew that there were actual machines that could do the end part, the keep it together part. And I can't believe what those machines can do. It's pretty incredible. So now that she sent me that and I watched the video, now my newsfeed is completely full of it. So that's super fun. My mom is the craftiest woman I know, and she can sew, she can quilt, she can, oh my gosh, she can carve eggs, she can carve gourds, she can laser, she can like anything at all. She's been working really hard. If you don't know, she has an Etsy shop. This is not a pressure or a sales pitch, but she does have some beautiful things on there. Something funny happened the other night. I was FaceTiming with Xander and Kendra was like, "Hey, there's a pink quilt that your mom has on her Etsy storage." She goes, "Do you happen to know if that's like a baby size quilt or if that's like a lap quilt or what it is?" And I was like, "Why don't you just go over there and ask her what it is, or see, what do you want?" And Xander goes, "Well, the thing is like Xander or Kendra wants a quilt for her lap and for the baby." And he goes, "But I want like a quilt." And I was like, what do you mean you want a quilt? I have all your baby quilts that I'm gonna pass down. And he's like, no, like I want a quilt like for our bed. Like I want an heirloom that comes from our family that I pass on to others. And I'm sitting on FaceTime and I'm like, you want an heirloom that's a quilt? I was like, what do you want it to be of? And he goes, anything. He goes, it would be really cool if it was like from her, something of hers and something of the other grandmas and something of mine when I was a baby. And I'm like, who is this 22-year-old man that is like being so thoughtful to want to have something like that that you use and it gets softer and softer and softer and to hand down? And I'm like thinking all these things and I'm like, how do you even know something like that exists? He goes, well, he goes, I know the one that you had when we were growing up. He goes, and I just know it was like the softest thing and the most neat thing ever. And I was like, yeah, and if you want, like, yes, I love it dearly, but if you're ready for it, I'm happy to pass it on. And he goes, no, 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 I want my own so I can pass it on to my daughter. And I was like, it kind of made me get really sentimental and all sweet. And like, that was really, really a neat thing to hear from a 22-year-old young man's voice of, you know, him wanting to build legacies and little things like that, that something as simple as a quilt that he could pass on and have that's part of our family history. And I was like, you need to talk to your grandma Janelle. And I said she'll let you pick out the material if that's what you want to do. And he goes, can I just like, he goes, there's like 3 shirts that are like my favorite shirts, and I'm going stuff like, yeah, just collect whatever you want to put on it and then we'll go through there. So it'll be really awesome to see if mom can come up with something. I did give her a hint. I was like, your number one grandson wants to talk to you about a quilt situation. And she's like, okay. And I gave her a little bit of insight. So it was neat. It was really neat to have him think like that because listen, I've been in many, this is embarrassing. I've been in many relationships, or at least enough to know that most men aren't thinking like that. And it was thoughtful. So uh we had a little bit of Xander Kendra setback recently. They were supposed to start on the house last week. It is asbestos and they're supposed to do asbestos removal. And the guy that showed up was going to just remove the there's vinyl siding on top of the asbestos, and he was just going to start removing the vinyl and like putting it on a trailer and taking it away. And the main general contractor showed up and was like, if you take that off, then the next part has to come off. And then that obligates us to start before we actually have the permit to start. And if we don't get to start, then everything's going to get soaked all over again. And then we're really going to be up a creek because we're trying to preserve as much as we can. So now we're back to waiting for the permit. Oh, it is, it is a journey. I will say that it is an absolute journey to be able to get some of this done, at least kicked off. I know that they're frustrated and I know that they want to get things done, at least moving to see some sort of progress. And we just sort of like run into a few snags. And I know that we'll get there, and they do too. It's just now we're probably looking at after the first of the year, and we all had hopes that it would be happening within like a month of having the baby. But it's okay. One of the things that we talked about again was like his insurance will pay for a rental, if one came available. But at the end of the day, like those 2 big dogs, there's no place to take. There's no rental that wants 2 big German shepherds that has a fenced in yard or anything like that. They're better to just stay where they are and muddle through it. And it'll make them stronger in the end. It really will. So we'll be okay, and we'll get through it. The other thing that they were talking about on Sunday night, I had sent y'all had sent some baby clothes, and I had shopped for some baby clothes, and I had shipped it up north. And whenever Kendra opened it. She started to cry, and I was like, "Why? What's wrong? Like, was it ruined?" Like, all the things went through my head about like what happened between here and there. And she's like, I got emotional and started to cry. I'm like, why? And she goes, because it smelled like your house. And in that moment, I'm all I could think about was like, at that point in time, the smell of whatever's in my house. But secondly, like, did it smell like dog? Did it smell like cat? Like, what was it? She goes, no, your house smells like perfume and laundry detergent. And I was like, whew, okay. Okay. I was like, that's weird though, because I didn't wash any of it. I didn't wash any of it. In fact, a lot of it still had tags on it from the things that y'all had sent. So, she got emotional because it smelled like here and she hadn't been here in so long. And I just said, well, whenever whenever you get a sec, like, you can come down. And I told her, like, she has way more days off than Xander, like, come down, and Xander can come down on a, weekend, and can fly back together or whatever. And they were going to talk it over about potentially flying down this weekend because Xander's off on Friday for the holiday. They haven't said anything else yet, and I'm sure that it's exhausting on top of everything else, so I don't really expect it to happen. But it was just really sweet that she was like, it just made me cry because it smelled like your house. And I'm like, how lucky am I to have a daughter-in-law that I'm so connected to? And I have not met Kendra's mom yet, but she's very much involved in her life. Kendra has two sisters. Kendra actually, like, I wish that I could get her to join a live one night and sort of tell you some of her stories. I think Kendra has something like, in total, 8 siblings between like, she has some halves and some step and all those things, but she has 2 sisters that are true. That's who she was raised with. And her mom is very involved in her life, and we're all sort of like texting and working on her baby shower together, so I will get to meet them in August. But I just feel like really blessed to have a daughter-in-law who is so connected and wants to be involved and so willing to put up with me just as well. So I don't think that that's always the case. I don't think I've always been that type of daughter-in-law. Uh, I try to be, but I can't say that I have seen eye to eye with all of my relationships, mothers. I make it sound really bad. Like, I've had a lot of relationships. Like, big relationships, like 4. So, like, enough. But I do feel like I get along with them, but I can't say that I have the relationship that Kendra and I have, is what I'm getting at. And I just feel really blessed to be able to have her, and for Xander to have a partner in her. And she'll be the mom of my grandbaby. It's it's coming up really fast, and I'm getting really, really excited. So anyway, all right, so things happening here. So Val and Talus are doing very well. They're kind of getting a routine and figuring out their groove. Um, I can't say that they're not merged, and I didn't expect them to be like all one herd going places or anything like that. There's a lot of curiosity around who's doing what, and Storm is being Storm. I think Storm's in heat, and Storm is being a little territorial and is being a little like bossy. This is hard because I don't think that Voodoo would be doing any of that. And if Voodoo was here, I don't think anyone would be doing any of that, because Val and Talus have not proved to be invasive, to be mean or comment, anything like that. So I know that if Voodoo was alive and was here as the herd leader, this would already be squashed. But Storm has sort of put up a little bit of a wall. So Talus and Val are somewhat keeping their distance. Now, also know that Talus and Val are like still discovering places as well. So, and their routine. And I'm pulling Talus and Val out in the mornings and the evenings to feed them. I just feed them in the courtyard and everybody else in their spot. It keeps the peace. It makes sure that I can get Val her supplements and her meds, but also that I can stretch her, rub her down, and then I also spray her to cool her off. I treat anything that she's got going on. She does have a few, like, I don't know what she did to her leg, but she definitely rubbed up against something to be able to get a few nicks on it. And she had a few when she came already. So, like, I don't know what she's doing to cause it. I would love to know. I would love to figure it out. But treated some of those. And then Talus is just like here for the ride. Talus is kind of a hippie, go with the flow kind of guy. Like, he's here to hang out and to be totally chill. I watched Lester's video this morning where he tried to put a halter on Val and tried to see if she wanted to go into the water, and she didn't. I think tomorrow I'm going to I'm not trying to one up Lester, but I think that if I can get Talus to go in, that Val may consider going in. So I'm going to play with that maybe tomorrow, and see what happens. I also made a call today. So I've been watching Val lift her leg more over the last 2 weeks than ever before. And as I'm doing her stretches and things like that, I can feel her like lean into them and utilize them. And I like that. But there's also some clicking that's bothering me a little bit. And I can't tell where it is because I'm not that smart. So I made a call out to Dr. Modesto. Now, Dr. Modesto is from Becker Equine, and he was the one who came out to do voodoo. He has portable x-ray, portable ultrasound. He has a lot of diagnostics that he can bring along with him. So Dr. Modesto, as of today, is planning on coming out on Thursday afternoon to take a look at our Val. And it may, Dr. Cochran gave it here's 3 possible things. Dr. Baker gave it that's possible, let's do these stretches types of things, and let's just watch it. The weird part about Val is that none of us can replicate it. So when you're treating something physical on an animal or a human, one of the things that you look for is like, what makes it hurt or what makes it do what it's doing? And we are not able to definitively understand why or when Val will pick her leg up like that, which leaves a little bit of fear for maybe something neurological. Maybe it's not something that is ortho or it's a mystery right now. So calling Dr. Modesto, I also sent over some video clips, and I'm just like, I need a rule out. But I don't want to put Val in a trailer for 2.5 hours in July heat to haul her to A&M. Even if I would haul her in the morning, I would really like to avoid that if at all possible, because the extra strain of that ride can mask or can add to her whatever's going on. So Dr. Modesto coming out should give us hopefully some insight, and it'll be good to see him again. It'll be good to have his evaluation on her and just see what's going on. So I also told him though that this was not an emergency, that it is something chronic. I think it's flared up. It was flared up before I brought her here. And I just gave him the rundown of it. So I was very clear of like, it's a holiday week. I recognize that you are probably slammed. I'm not asking for you to rush me in. And, he joked, anything for you, Jamie. And I was like, that's not what I mean. I want to be really clear here that if some other emergency comes up, that it's okay to push us to next week. And he was like, I don't think that's going to happen, but I appreciate that. So that's where we're at today. There's a couple things that it could be. One of them is called string halt, which is there's 3 tendons And sometimes a tendon can get stuck in a spot that moves. And what she may be doing is maneuvering enough to get that tendon unstuck. They can actually do a surgery in the field to relieve that. We're stretching it right now, if that's the case, to be able to hopefully stretch that tendon out enough to where it doesn't get stuck. But at the same time, if there's something like scarring in there, or if there's a bone spur or something else, like, we want to know. And now Dr. Modesto is also invested in the figure it out, and I also messaged Dr. Cochran, and I would tell you if she's replied, but we're using my phone since my computer decided that it was dying today. Um, but I also messaged her and I said, hey, I don't know if you're off on Thursday, but if you are, Dr. Modesto is going to come out to see Val. And if you want to be here for that, that would be great. I would really like to get them to meet each other. Not like you're thinking, professionally. I do believe that it's not my business. It's not my business. But when you connect good clinicians, usually really good things come from that. Whether it's a referral base or just a knowledge connection, like in my career, connecting like-minded people and creating a network has always been a positive space. So I would really like to connect Dr. Cochran and Dr. Modesto if I have any hand in anything at all, because I think that that networking could be really beneficial. The same thing with Dr. Baker. Connecting them all would be huge for the horse world in this part of the state. So we'll see what happens and kind of go from there. But Val has proven to be her very stoic, gentle self throughout every interaction here. She never leads with aggression. She never even responds with aggression. She will calmly just stay, or she'll turn to show the other horses that she's not a threat in any way, and that's what's happening. And Talus is actually surprising me more than I thought that he would do. Talus is standing by Val to protect her. I really thought that I would see Talus go and try to be a little bit more dominant with the herd. But Talus is like, I don't really have time for all that drama. Could you just point me to the hay? Oh, and the fan. Really like the fan. If I could just go stand in front of the fan for the middle part of the day and then show up for dinner, Mom could spray us down. I'll go back in afterwards, eat a little hay, and then I'll just drink some water and kind of chill out until it's time for bed. And that is Talus. Talus is just like here for whatever. He's cool. If you want to put a halter on him in the middle of anything, he's totally fine with that. Like the most easygoing, chilled out horse ever. And I don't know how we got so lucky. But I will say that this is not a dig at Jem and Rita or Roman. But pulling them out of it has enhanced their like relaxed phase of their life. They're like, yeah. Like I feel he's like Willie Nelson. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's just here to like hang out. Now he will protect Val. He will get in between Val and anything that's going to harm her. And he's conscious of that. But he's not here to take over. He's not here to stir the pot. He's not here to interrupt anything. And I love that about him. And that's what gives me a little bit of confidence in the fact of I do think that all 5 of these horses here will eventually just be doing their thing all together. I didn't catch it on video, but last night when I went out to put the chickens up, which is right after it turns dark, I go out there, all the chickens are ready in, I'm basically closing it up, making sure they have water in their coop and calling it a night. I looked out at the barn and Storm, Bucky's, and Prim and Ivy are all in the barn area in stalls, and I saw Talus in the entranceway by the water trough right there, and I was like, that's progress. Now Val was still out behind him eating and grazing, But Talus was in the barn with them, and no one was upset. I stood out there for 15 minutes. Now, I did not walk all the way out to the barn. I just stood at the fence here, and I watched thinking like, I wonder if they don't know, or they don't see, maybe they had their backs to him, because it's hard to see that far out. But they didn't. They were totally cool with it. And Val was just fine doing her thing as well. And eventually Val walked around to the side and was staring in there. And I know that she wanted to go in because Talus is kind of in at that point in time, but she got a little nervous. And then Ivy saw me. So then Ivy comes hauling out, and then the whole herd comes hauling out, thinking that I have something for them at the fence. So it was my fault that I messed them up, actually. But my point is that they're doing horse things in horse ways and making their own horse progress without me intervening in a daggum thing. And I just think they're amazing creatures. And no matter how much I want to interject myself and be like, Storm, stop being mean. And I know that they're sorting it out in their own way. And it makes me proud. Lester has shown Rita and Gemma and Roman, and they're all doing very wonderful as well. I showed them as well the other day. They're doing really great, and I don't feel like, now maybe Roman misses a little bit of adult interaction, but like in reality, I think that they're really content. And I know that we will like get the whole band back together this fall, but I'm hoping that this works out for a while, and that Val and Talus will eventually start to trust and use the pond. I also think some of Val's not willingness to use the pond is that it puts her in a vulnerable position, and she's nervous still about what's happening in the herd dynamics. So Lester and I will stop trying to intervene so much and allow them to be horses and to sort through some of their stuff. And I think that that's going to help. Ow, something bit me. Something bit me. Okay, so then I did something a little bit off kilter last night, and that is I watched a video of someone using Old Spice deodorant in the pasture. And I thought it was nuts. And then I decided to try it. And they didn't have any original scent, Old Spice, so I went with the closest thing, which was Fresh. It still had the same chemical makeup, just different scent. And I'm telling you, not only did it work last night, it was still working today. So I went back out tonight before I came in and rubbed everybody that would let me rub them with dang Old Spice deodorant. And I don't know why it's working. I literally have no idea why. But if it works, that will be like the most miracle hack of all hacks. I'm also like considering, like, is there more to this? Because I started to think about it today. Like, I wonder what's in that makes flies not have an interest. And is it just part of the scent? Is there some other makeup in it? Because then I'm starting to think, like, if it's just the scent, could I get regular Old Spice or the spray deodorant kind of Old Spice? And could I like put one of those, the fogger like mister things that they used to put in some places, that it would have a timer and it would spray out the thing like every couple of hours so you would have a scent? I will put that above my doorways. I do not care if my house smells like Old Spice. I love the smell of Old Spice, but I started to think, like, if it's the smell and it's going to get rid of flies, I would do anything to get rid of flies that come in this house. I would love to get rid of flies, period, in the pastures and everything, but I'll start at the house. So that might be my next adventure to try, is like spraying. Or I could get the old school cologne and put it in one of those mister things, or a diffuser. I don't care. But it was fabulous, and it smells good. Even Ringo smells good. He still had some on his horns because he demanded that I put it on his horns as well. I don't know. So, Arlene says, is Avon still available? I don't know if Avon's still available. I haven't used Avon in so many years, but wasn't there a thing called like Skin So Soft or something like that that used to repel mosquitoes too? Cassie, Ringo always wants to fit in. Always. I have a question though. How do you think someone figured out that Old Spice worked like that? You think that somebody like had it on like as deodorant and they're the only person standing around that didn't have flies on or something like that, or they had it on their armpit and they rubbed it on their horse and that all of a sudden like I would love to know who discovered the Old Spice secret. I wish it was me, but it's not. I don't know who the person is, but you know, that had to have been like how that they figured that out. Farmers used it old years ago. Maybe they did. I'm telling you that I'm going to take it to a whole nother level though if it's going to work like it did out in that pasture, because flies are a farm's nemesis, y'all. They're relentless and you spend so much money trying to get rid of them. And they're harmful to your animals on both the inside and out, and like you just want them to go away because they're disgusting. And then they're in your house, and it's not even, if you live in the country, they're going to be in your house because it's cooler or because there's food or like, I don't know, they just are. But I'm going to go ahead and try to Old Spice us up to be able to use it and see if I can't get rid of them, because if I do, it's going to be awesome. Lester put some on. Yeah. I told him about it today. I was like, hey, start using this deodorant if you don't want flies. And of course, he smelled some of the other scents as well. They make a. Okay. Here's another Jamie confession that I can't believe I'm telling you this. I like men's deodorant more than women's. I like men's scents more than women's. Now, I'm not putting on men's cologne, but I do love men's soap. I love the scent of men's soap more than women's soap. I like the clean, crisp, woodsy, that. And the men's deodorant, I don't know why, but it works better and it smells better and it doesn't leave stains. I have secretly, maybe it's not such a secret, been using men's deodorant for years. Sorry if that ruins things for people, but it's true. Now, I can't use men's shampoo. Can't do that. Long hair and men's shampoo does not work out for me. Trying to think of what other weirdness that I have. That's probably it. That's enough weirdness and confessions for tonight. I've already confessed that my boots were the rotten smell in our house and that I use men's deodorant. So, there's that. There's a lot of you that use men's deodorant, so I'm really happy it's not just me. Yeah, Jill, men's body wash is 10 times better. And it comes in bigger bottles, so it lasts longer. This is bad. Okay, now we're going down a path because I do love Bath and Body Works, and I only buy Bath and Body Works at their semi-annual sale. So there's sales going on right now, and it's like 70% off or something crazy like that. But I will stock up on body washes because they're like $3 a piece. I personally put them in a cabinet, and we go through probably one of those a week here. We're bath people, so we pour it in the bath and we use it as soap. I still use normal shampoo and conditioner, but we'll use that. So, and yes, I use Zion Creek bar soap to actually wash with and shave with and all of that. Like, yes, I have all of that. But we use body wash, and I buy the men's because I don't want to smell like a lemon cookie getting out of the tub. I don't like to smell like food. I know that that's horrible. I like the smell of some of those things, but I don't want to smell like it. Like one time, it was like a strawberry cupcake or something spray. It smells good, but when I smell it, this is bad. I feel like I smell sticky, like the icing. Or like one time, I think that I got some like mint chocolate chip lotion. I enjoy eating mint chocolate chip ice cream. Really like that. Really like mint Girl Scout cookies as well. Don't necessarily want to smell like it though. So, you know, there's that. There's that. I'm weird. I know. I'm telling you about all my weirdness tonight, and you're going to walk away going, Timeout Tuesday is getting real strange lately. We're hearing about all of Jamie's inner thoughts and all the things, all of her quirkiness, and now we get why Lester decides to go to the JL several nights a week. Like, she's really losing it. I would not blame you one bit for that at all. I was on a call today with some women from a hospital. We were waiting for others to join, and we got down the menopause path. Now I'm in the business of care for women, so it was a relevant conversation, first of all, but it was with strangers, and we were making jokes because she couldn't think of a word. And she made her own joke at herself. She goes, menopause is no joke. She goes, I know the word I'm looking for. She goes, but my brain is foggy. And she goes, and I'm trying, it's really hard to think of it. And she goes, this is so embarrassing. I'm a professional. I have a master's degree. I have all these things. And I can't think of the word I'm trying to say for her. And she goes, and it's all because I'm going through this weird hormone. Like she just like vented, vomited with like 10 people on the call. And then the funny part was there was one man on there with us, and that was a colleague of mine, and the rest were women from the hospital or from my company. And everybody is right around the same age, between 40 and 55. And we're all like adding in our symptoms of what we have. That poor man that was on that call had no idea what to say and didn't say a word and was politely waited until everybody got their talk done. And then I called him out and I was like, you don't have anything to add about that? And he's like, I feel like that I shouldn't add anything. And I was like, this is probably best actually. But it's very real. And it is something that we don't talk about. We don't talk about the mental health things that lie in there, and that was one of the big discussions is a lot of these women went through perimenopause for 3 to 4 years, some even 5, before they actually hit menopause. And during those times, many of them got divorced or got close to being divorced, made major life changing things in their career, like did very erratic things that they look back at now and recognize that they were just like out of sorts with their hormones and their minds. Their mental health was all crazy. And I related a lot. Diana says I got divorced. Madeline says I'm sweating right now. It's crazy the things that happen to us during those times. It is crazier than the initial puberty. It is crazier than you feel when you're pregnant, and it lasts sometimes 20 years, which is daunting. But what I have found is it's becoming more and more real for doctors to know that it's not just something you deal with, that there are tests and things that they can help you balance out, and they can do all these things. And not every treatment is for everyone, but that people are talking about it and recognizing that it's not just menopause. I'll just say that menopause is a really big deal, and menopause is the root of so many things that we need to take seriously, and that our clinicians and the people that we seek help from need to take seriously as well. And there's a really big push right now going on for that to be a focus, because if you think about it, We absolutely get care when we're pregnant and we're young. And then we may get care later in life when it comes to a space of like needing help from a GYN type of thing. Maybe you need a hysterectomy or things like that. But that middle space where we're not having babies anymore and we're in the you should probably go to your annual checkup and get XYZ tested space, like there's nobody focusing, not many focusing on that space and recognizing the symptoms are serious and that they are of worthiness of needing help. So it was just nice to hear from a group of women, and the poor guy that was on the call just had to sit there silently. um, it is a real thing, and you're not crazy, and you're not alone, and you know it is absolutely valid. And if your clinician doesn't listen to you, you can 100% seek someone else to see. We live in a world now of telemedicine, and there are specialists that can be at the fingertips of an app that don't require you to drive anywhere. And that is the beauty of the world we live in today, is that there may not be somebody in the town you live in that you can drive to, but you can make an appointment and have a FaceTime call, and they can at least guide you to next steps. So I'm a huge advocate for like, don't push it aside. You're not crazy. I mean, you are, but not for that. And that the things you're experiencing are valid to be concerned about. So I have been here rambling on for an hour about the most insane things, and have been all over the map with everything to talk about. And I can read like a comment at a time, and like 50 will fly by. So if you have questions, put them in the comments now and I'll try to catch them and answer them. But I'm on my phone and I can't see very much today, so I apologize. I do not know what happened to my computer. A little bit nervous about what happened to my computer because that turns out to be a big part of my life, and kind of need that to work. Is Dear Jamie coming back? Yes, it will. I just am really struggling with time balancing right now and trying to squeeze it all in. So I initially thought July 1st, but y'all, I'm using every minute of daylight that I have, and then coming in to build videos, and I'm not getting to bed until midnight or 1, and then I'm back up before 6 o'clock. And I am really struggling because my job is taking a lot of my time right now. My hopes are that I will, when it starts having shorter daylight days, that and less things to do outside, less watering of horses, all of those things, that yes, it will come back. I have every intention of it coming back. It just might not be until August-ish, but I'll let you know. I'm looking. My mom's Etsy name is Sanctuary Sew and Such, SEW. And I'm sure Miss Teresa put it in the comments for me already as well. Ernie. So Ernie was in my video this morning. He is having some diarrhea again. It's not it's just soft. It's not like alpacas have pelleted stool, and his was soft again yesterday. Today it's not any better. So I know I got to take it in. I scrubbed everything that we had yesterday. I put some diatomaceous earth out, and then I gave him some red cell in addition to his food yesterday and today. And then I ordered B12 because I went to 2 Tractor Supplies and they were completely out of the B12, and that'll be here tomorrow. So I will dose him with that and kind of go from there. It's a really rough roller coaster with him, y'all. And I feel so bad. Like I just want to make him better. And I don't know how. Ivy's doing really great. She'll be in my video tomorrow. She made me cry. No baby ostriches yet. At least not since 8 a.m. this morning. I have not gone back out to see. I think that sums up all of the questions that I can see, y'all. Boat races. So here's the deal. Every morrow is so busy right now. The materials for G and Papa's house got delivered. I saw in a video. I know that they're starting on that. Jake is trying to finish his house. Buddy and Steph are in California. Kim and Daniel will be helping with the house. I know that we have every intention of helping with the house. I'm sure Tina does too. I don't know how we could expect anybody to dedicate a weekend to building a cardboard boat and coming over for a race right now. So I think it's going to be a play it by ear kind of year. Alyssa's pregnant. Jill just had a baby and is about to go through some treatments. I just don't think that this is the year for doing events. And then Xander and Kendra are going to have a baby in October. So that rules. I don't think we'll be able to have prom. And I just think it's going to be next year probably before we have time to do all those things. So it's okay. We're all still here. We have the memories of all of the ones that we've had up to this point, and maybe we'll think of something else creative to do in the meantime. But getting G and Pops in their house is a priority, so that way Jill and Dustin can move to the other house, and getting Jake and Lissa into their house is a priority. All while everybody's maintaining their farms and their channels and their relationships and their, livelihood and all of those things. Like, this is a very busy year. And we'll get back to all of the fun things as soon as that we can. So we'll go from there. But thank you all for joining me tonight on Timeout Tuesday. And I'm so sorry for the glitch. I don't know what's lurking and waiting to happen. But nothing could be worse than my lurking boots. And yeah, super great. At least I found it. At least I found the smell, and it's fine now. It's going to be totally fine. I put those directly on the burn pile. There will be no more smelly boots. So I love you all so very much, and I'm so grateful that you choose to spend Tuesday nights with me. We are 4 years into doing Timeout Tuesdays, and there's no place that I would rather be than right here with y'all. I hope y'all stay safe, you stay well, and I just owe you the greatest thanks for giving me the greatest gift of all, which is your time. I love you so much, and I will catch you on the next video. Good night, y'all. Oh boy, let me leave. It won't let me leave. There we go.